In this episode, I talked to comedian and person in recovery, Big Daddy Taz.
So I knew when I was a kid that something was different.
We talked about everything from parenting in recovery.
You and I went through this so that our kids don't have to go through this, hopefully.
To why it's so important to reach out when things get dark.
Silence.
Yeah.
That's what kills. Fear, terror,
Yeah.
judgmental people.
Yeah.
They kill more people than handguns every year.
Yeah. What's up? My name is Dan, podcaster, keynote speaker, and advocate, and this is Hard Knocks Talks, your addictions podcast. Shout out to the Saskatchewan Safety Council for inviting me to their 2024 Saskatchewan Safety Seminar to deliver a talk and to foster productive conversations about substance use from the trade show floor like this one with Big Daddy Taz.
This is Hard Knocks Talks.
Hi, I'm Taz.
Hey, Taz. Taz?
Taz.
Taz.
Yeah.
I'm Dan.
No, Dan. Dan.
Dan.
Dan.
Dan.
Taz. Dan, Taz, Taz, Dan.
Yeah. So how come you speak about mental health? Why are you passionate?
I speak about mental health because I live with mental health, right?
We all do.
For the longest time, I suffered from mental health, and there's the big difference is acceptance and doing something about it. And so I want people to feel comfortable with who they are, and not what people see.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
It
Because
does.
many times we're walked through with a smile, especially myself as a comedian, walk through with a smile, or hey, how's everything going? And I got chipper on the outside and wood chipper on the inside, man. Just hating myself to bits, and you know, I didn't want to live like that anymore, and I still live with some self-hate, right? But that's further and further between, and now my episodes of me going down are less and less frequent and less and not as long, because you know, when you know that there's light on the other side, and you just know I just got to figure out which door to open. So we teach them that, man.
So where did this all start for you then?
The mental health, probably in the womb is it's probably, to be honest with you, but that's the glib answer. But I knew when I was a kid that something was different from me. I was an emotional kid, and as I got older, and depression and anxiety and OCD set in, and I didn't have any labels, right? I had no labels for any of that stuff, and it just got heavier and heavier and heavier, and then, you know, I hated myself for many different reasons. My parents were not. They were good people, not great parents. They didn't know how to do that. And I grew up in the 70s and 80s where it was all, you know, there was men don't cry, and
It's still like that.
It is still like that, right?
Not as bad maybe. But.
Yeah, well, you know what? It depends, right? It depends. Have we broken that generational curse? And that's what I did. So I decided I could be my father, or I could be a father. And I decided to be a father instead, and take a different path. Teach my boys that self-love. Teach my boys that other people's words do not define who you are. And if you mess up, apologize. And if they can't accept that apology, then that's not your cat to skin, right? That's just the way, you know. That's the way it is. Some people are not going to accept your apology, and just try your best in the moment that you have, and be as proud as you can of yourself.
Tell us about some of the experiences that afforded you the lessons that you're using today as a parent.
Oh, I don't even know where to start. I mean, suicide attempts, thank goodness I wasn't successful at any of them. Failed marriages, failed relationships, failed life experiments, all kinds of stuff. So they say whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but geez.
I'm not sure
I don't know how
that's
much
true.
I don't think that's true at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just sometimes whatever doesn't kill you, it ties you to that spot until you accept what happened and move on. Right? And I don't know if I get stronger. I know. Do I get wiser? I don't know.
Whatever doesn't kill you makes you wiser.
Wiser, yeah, that's it.
Maybe,
Maybe
I might buy into
that's
that.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that does that. Me.
I still do that, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I did that with drugs for 23 years, and now I do that with other things. Social media is hard for me now.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is I wasn't too much into the drugs as I was booze, and you know, I've been clean and sober for since my son was about 4, so almost 26 years this year, and I had to make a choice, right? because it was just masking the problem, is what they say. It's not. It doesn't mask the problem.
No,
it makes it worse.
Yeah,
it just makes you have zero fuse.
Yeah,
I have no. If I'm drinking, I got no fuse.
It postpones the processing of the
problem.
problem.
It does. It puts it off, right?
Yeah.
It's like saying, okay, I got to shovel manure. Okay, I don't want to do it today. That hill's pretty big. Okay, now the cow's taking a dump, and now it's bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the time you get to it next Tuesday, you're up to your eyeballs in crap, right?
Yeah. So was it a pinnacle moment for you?
Yeah. I talk about this a lot in my show, but my son was about 4 years old, and long story short, there was an incident where he was crying and I was laughing because what had happened was hilarious, but I thought he was still laughing, right? And then I started getting upset with myself because I couldn't stop laughing. And my son said, "It's okay, Daddy, because nothing hurts as much if you laugh about it." And it was like quite literally, right? I don't know what an epiphany is, right? I think it's a singer from the '80s, right? But what it did is it made me think about that. It made it be okay to joke about, what I was going through and that. And so I decided to, talk about mental health, right?
In that moment?
In that moment, right there, I decided to get clean and sober. I decided to get help for my mental health, and I decided that somebody needs to talk about mental health, because why should a psychiatrist be the only one? Why can't we just talk about it openly?
So a 4-year-old shouldn't be thinking that.
No, 4-year-olds shouldn't be thinking anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I went and I talked about it, and of course I was the first comedian to talk about on stage. I was one of the first people in Canada and North America to go up and go, "Hey, I'm suffering from mental health." And the beginning wasn't good. People were, just sort of, crap on me or tell me I'm making fun of the mentally ill, and I'm an asshole, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on your on your podcast.
And I was doing all of these things, and yes, you can swear on my podcast. That's
okay,
fine.
well, no. And so I went to do a show in Sault Ste. Marie, and I didn't want to do the show. I'm just like, why am I doing this? People are crapping on me. And it was a really badly run show, like last minute. And with my OCD, I need things, as quickly as possible. I used to I need it now, right? So I went there, and I had bird shit in my mouth. I was just like, ugh, what am I doing? Ugh, everything was that. And after the end of the show, I got a standing ovation, which was lovely. And then people come and have a tendency to gravitate towards me and talk to me.
Hang on a second. Now, was this show different, like in your delivery, than any other show?
It was. I was talking mostly about mental health on this one.
Okay,
right?
But I mean, you said previously people were shitting on you for talking about this.
It was no matter what I talked about.
Okay.
People wanted. And there's always people that are going to come and crap all over you for what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because they think they know better, and they don't. They have a higher sense of self.
Yeah.
Which sometimes you need to, gear down big rig, right?
Yeah.
And so I go to this, I see a fellow sort of standing further away, but everybody coming up and give me a hug and stuff. I got a lot of hugs, right?
Yeah.
And so this guy turns around to sort of leave, and I said to these people, I said, "I'll be right back." And I went and talked to him. And he said, "Hey, thanks for talking about that." I said, "Oh, you're welcome." And he said, my wife and my doctor make me take meds. That's the only reason I take my meds. I said, "Well, dude," I gave him a hug. I said, and close enough to his ear that he could hear. I said, your wife and your doctor are keeping you alive." And he said, "No, you did that. I was done. I watched you on stage and realized I wasn't alone. And I was going to go home today and kill myself in my garage." He says, "But instead I'm going to go home and tell my wife I was going to kill myself, and we're leaving for the hospital right after that, and I'm not leaving the hospital until I get help. Because you said to speak loudly and proudly for yourself, I'm going to do that." And then he just gave me a hug and he walked away.
How'd you handle that?
I didn't. I went to the room. I went to how the hotels have the back rooms, the hallways and stuff. I opened that door and I just started crying because I had been there. And I didn't think I was making a difference. And the universe gave me this on a platter, like, ta-da, look what you're doing. And so I started crying because what if I had decided not to come? Because I was going to bail on this gay. That guy would have taken his life. Maybe. Right?
Maybe.
He said maybe. Right?
He said he was going to, but you get down to that moment.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
But, and then I'm having tears, and I look over and I hear noise behind me. It's the organizers there, and she's crying. The agent that booked me was crying. Two of the people that were...
Did they all hear this?
They all heard it. It was like, right, they were all standing around waiting for me to... And so I decided on that day, when I'm feeling... Today I'm going through I'm having a huge anxiety attack right now. But I have to step over the puddle, right, and keep walking. And if it gets too deep, then I got to wade through the puddle and keep walking, right? Or I got to build a bridge, or I call somebody with a boat, right? But I got to get over that puddle, and that's what we do every day, you and I and other speakers, because it's not about us often, right?
You nervous because you're speaking today?
I'm nervous because I also have a head injury, and I don't recall a lot of things, so I have to go on the fly, and my recall doesn't work all the time. And I just watched a video of myself in Boston, and all I could think of is as I'm watching it is, oh, I missed that, or oh, I should have said that, or instead of just watching myself going, hey, you know what? Look at that. You got a standing ovation. The people love you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But instead, I'm like, pick that and pick that and pick that. Whatever, right?
I've got a recording that I took of my wife Donna and I in a recent talk that we did, and we're gonna watch it and we're gonna see where we can improve. And I'm scared to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm scared to watch. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, first of all, I hate the sound of my voice.
Well, and it's not the sound of my voice that I'm concerned about. It's the way that I'm going to
I also
pick
hate the sound of your voice, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
I forget now.
No, you're saying that you're afraid that it's not going to be.
I have a brain injury from 23 years of hard drugs.
Yes,
I'm sure of it. It's not diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure it's there.
I don't know if it's an injury or an altercation.
Right? Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? I think I get it, but unpack that.
So what I mean is that my body is booze addled from many years of drinking.
Okay.
Now, is that an injury, or to me it's more like I've had an altercation with my body. Like, I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To me, an injury is like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I didn't mean to do that. An altercation is like, I'm going to get drunk. And I make that choice, even though I know, or with drug, for me, Coke or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And knowing that there is consequences, right? Very rarely do we eat broccoli and go, there's going to be consequences for this one. Well, there is. They're fart trees for a reason, but, eat kale, eat anything, or you do something healthy for you. I don't know, what kind of repercussions are there going to be? But with booze and drugs, we know there's going to be repercussions.
Yeah.
I might have a hangover, or I might not have a place to live.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I might miss Christmas.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was your first year like then? Now, it sounds to me like you entered recovery. Did you seek support? I mean, you said, you got to wade through the puddle. Sometimes you got to call a boat.
Yeah.
Well, what does the boat look like?
So are you asking a mental health boat or alcohol boat? Or a little bit of both?
Is there a difference?
Because one's a party boat.
No, not the alcohol party boat. Don't call that. That won't get you through
I went to AA a few times, and then I got it. But there were some hypocritical people in the AA group that I went to.
Yeah.
That would be, I'm not drinking, and then they'd be, doing blow or whatever, and cranking. And I just went, I'm not into that. And I also don't like to smoke, and I don't like coffee. So I didn't fit into the AA. But I just made a promise to my sons and myself, or my son at the time, and myself, that no more booze past his lips. Because there's a quote that I read many years ago, in around the same time that with Joshy, that's my son, said about the... it's, nothing hurts as much as we laugh about it.
Nothing what?
Nothing hurts nothing hurts as much if you laugh about it, was what my son said to me. But I had read a quote that said, never worry about who your kids are going to grow up to be, but always worry about who your kids are going to grow up to be like. So you set an example for the kids, your kids, and they follow that example. So where do I want my kids to be when they're my age? Do I want them to be struggling, or I don't want them to be so in love with themselves they understand that a struggle is just part of a success,
It's the gift.
It is a gift. It really is. The saying, calm seas don't make good sailors, is I love that one. Where I mean, if you don't have any adversity, you don't know how strong your hold is.
I've crossed enough finish lines to know that the gift is in the struggle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, that success, I mean, that's good for a minute. You know, we can celebrate that for 24 hours or and bask in it and maybe have, you know, a vacation or whatever. But if I don't have anything new, like if I don't have any mountains to climb, if I'm not slaying a dragon or something like that, that where's the meaning in life?
Sometimes slaying a dragon is getting out of bed.
Goddamn right.
Well, you know what I mean? I am lost without something to do.
Yeah.
My wife and I live in different cities. She has elderly father, and I have my boys. So until my boys are old enough, and that we're 2 weeks at this place each month, right? And it's a far, like it's one in BC and one in Manitoba. Me in Manitoba, and so when she's not near me, I feel that I'm just spinning my heels. Now, I don't need somebody to complete me. I'm a complete person.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that she is... She's a lovely wife. I go, she's more a zookeeper, right? Is what she is. Well, but you're right. But if you feel like there's nothing to slay, we don't feel, right?
Yeah.
Because you and I, we want that ultimate high. And just doing the dishes isn't a high.
No.
Right? Dropping a glass and having it bounce off the counter and hit our elbow and then hit our knee and us catching it, holy crap.
That's cool for a minute.
Yeah, it's cool for a minute because we live for dopamine. Right?
Yeah.
Why do you think, why do you think, I bet you're on social media a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Because every hit is a bang of dopamine, right?
You know, and that brings an interesting point. Now, with what I do, of course, I am concerned with analytics.
Yes.
And it seems that every platform, the analytics are blue. The line is blue.
Yeah. I actually don't know what that means because I have no clue about social media.
Okay, well, you don't really need to for the context of the story.
Okay, good.
So, anyways, the lines, like the graphs and the bars, and they're usually shades of blue.
Yeah.
Right. The substance that I was addicted to for 5 years was also blue. So I used
You were
to snort.
addicted to Viagra?
No.
I'm pointing magnetically north for the entire time.
There's no confusion as to which direction I am walking.
That's exactly it. I'm going this way. Here, just hang your hat here. Everything will be fine.
It's so convenient.
Yes, I wear sweats because I'm impressed with what I can do.
I'm showcasing my skills. So, but what I'm getting at, I just say like the lines I snort are different now.
Yeah.
You know, because like when those lines are going up, I'm happy. You know, oh look, the results of my work are being displayed and I can see it. It's tangible. I can feel it. This is working.
Yes.
When those lines are going down, it's challenging for me to still get up with that vigor and with that motivation to keep grinding and going.
Yeah.
However, without those bad days, the good days would be meaningless.
Yeah.
You know?
Without winter, we never know how much we never know how much we appreciate the spring.
Yeah.
Right? Pardon me. Not COVID.
Do you know that for sure?
I don't know for sure. It's not. I don't care if I've got it. It's just another thing I get addicted to.
Yeah. Addicted to COVID.
But the thing is we're chasing with your drugs and with my booze and with my drug. We're chasing that first time we felt that high.
Yeah.
Well, it's never going to be, right?
Yeah.
Like the first time I saw my wife, I was like, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Holy, 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 holy.
Yeah.
I see her now, and I see her beauty, but I see a different beauty.
Yeah.
I see the inner beauty. I see the patient beauty.
Yeah.
I see the eye rolling, oh my God, why did you say that out loud in public beauty?
Yeah.
I see the look that she gives me when I get off stage after a good show. She sees... I see that look that she gives me when she knows that I'm hurting and there's nothing she can do to fix it.
Yeah. She
Right?
makes you feel seen.
She makes me feel seen. Yeah.
And that's
It's a
a
good word.
conversation that I've been having with my wife a lot lately too. How can we make sure that we're both seen and heard and understood by each other?
Because as kids, what were we taught?
Don't talk,
Don't
feel.
talk. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
Kids should be, seen
Yeah,
and not
get-
heard, right?
Yeah. And I catch myself doing that with my own kids all the time. And
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it, you know. So that's a real challenge. But
well, my boys are both, chips off the old block. I mean, I used to have shirts that mine was a tree and there was an apple and an apple 2.0, right? Because they're my boys.
Yeah.
And I will hear something come out of my mouth and I'm like, oh, how did my father get in there? And that's never said again.
Yeah.
And I say to the boys, hey, sorry, that was just a reaction. Right? I still get upset with them.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, they're 16 and 29 years old.
It'd be weirder if you didn't get upset with them.
Well, you know what? I do not like, and Pete, you're going to get letters, but I don't care.
It's fine.
Because it's not my show. You're not your kid's best friend. Stop it. That's an asinine thing to say.
Yeah.
My kids are my best friend. You're not meant to be your best friend.
Yeah.
They're your children.
Yeah.
What you're to do is teach them to be self-sufficient so that when you're not there, they make great choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I had my son say to me, and it broke my heart, I hate you. And I said, okay, I love you enough to let you hate me a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I really hate you. I said, no, you don't. You're
Yeah.
upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
you know, I think I think it's important to raise our kids. You know, I'm not, and I've said this before, I'm not trying to protect my children from the world. I'm trying to prepare them for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I'm a human being. You know, I'm going to make lots of mistakes, and I'm not going to sit here and try to justify my bad parenting from time to time.
Yeah.
But in those instances, these children are being taught that the people around us are not perfect. The people around us are going to make mistakes.
Yep.
Sometimes they're going to yell, and they're going to persecute, and they're going to do all of these things. But there's another side to that, is that every time I make a mistake, it gives me an opportunity to show them how to make things right.
Yep.
Get knocked down, get back up.
Yeah, I'm not preparing my kids for the world. I'm preparing the world for my kids, really. Is what it is. But no, I mean, I joke because that's what I do. Pardon me, but so what it is for, and we have the similar parenting style. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I was brought up in a terrible situation.
Yeah.
Right. If we talked about it and you'd be like, oh my God, and I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I'm also cognizant of the fact that I don't have all the skills that I need as a father because I haven't made all the mistakes yet.
Huh.
You know?
Yeah.
And my boys love me, and I love my boys, and they're both big lads. Like Wee Beast is my youngest one is 16, about 240, and about 2 inches taller than I am.
Uh-huh.
And shaking his hand is like shaking a frozen steak stapled to a plank of wood. And he's full of love, compassion, acceptance. He will not put up with racism. He will not put up with homophobia or transphobia. He calls people out, right? Well, you can't say that word anymore. You can't do that. Why are you talking to Grandpa? Come on, right?
Uh-huh.
My oldest boy, the same way. And they're able to stand on their own 2 feet and decide. Now, I didn't have that. My dad's background was alcoholism, so I thought that's how you handle stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You and I struggling, and then getting clean and sober and proud.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be so proud that I was clean and sober. Now I have to find something else to be proud of because I'm not used to being. It's just what it is. But it should still be a sense of pride.
Yeah,
it's just an accomplishment.
I don't want getting sober to be the best thing I ever do.
No,
you know? And I hear people say that, and maybe my context on this is a bit different than you know. But like, if the best thing I ever accomplish is getting sober, I feel like what a waste of sobriety that would be.
Well, you know what? I want it to be the last thing that I have to be proud of. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be the last struggle for my life that I have to be proud of, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I want it to be the last thing that you see my boys go, oh, that almost took Dad.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sure there's going to be a health thing. I mean, I'm 280 pounds and I'm a flesh balloon. But what I mean by that is that you and I went through this so that our kids don't have to go through this, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But if they do get addicted, hopefully they understand. It's okay to ask for help. No amount of embarrassment should take your life. Right?
Yeah.
No little bits of saying, I need help, should take you years and years and years.
And you know,
and you shouldn't have to hit rock bottom to build the ladder.
Yeah, and that's why I reflect on that idea, and it seems to me that in our society that stigma has become more dangerous than the toxic drug supply.
100%.
Yeah.
What kills? Silence.
Yeah.
That's what kills. Fear, terror, judgmental people.
Yeah.
They kill more people than handguns every year.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think as a society we're starting to realize that, because I'm seeing even in the past year there has been a big push of people talking about teaching professionals basically how to not be assholes to people who use drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to go?
No. I just have ADD.
You're in good company, my friend.
Oh, perfect. Well, and you know what it is, too, is that stigma is there because we let it be there. And you know how I know that stigma is getting better? You and I are at a conference in Saskatchewan with blue-collar people who they wouldn't have a speaker like this 5 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm on, this will be my 5th one in the last little bit that we're doing. And then I'm off to Florida to do one, and now it's all over. People are like, okay, yeah, let's get these people, and let's get these speakers, and let's get these people. And I'm freaking out right now because I said I don't know if hopefully I'm going to have a good set. Right? Hopefully I'm going to have, but I keep saying, what about me? How about this? Instead of the universe, let's have the crowd have a good set with me. And I just find out what I'm supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
Because we can save lives by simply listening. And one of the things I talk about is how to listen. A lot of people don't know how to listen. They wait for their turn to talk.
Yeah.
Right? How many times you're talking to somebody and their mouth goes,
I do that when I'm constantly trying to formulate the next question, right? And I'm trying to kind of stop doing that because it takes me out of what's currently being said, and I'm missing opportunities.
Live in that moment.
Yeah.
Right? And there's something to be said when I met a guy who, before he spoke, he stopped for a second, and he almost closed his eyes, and then he asked the question. And I realized what he was is because he wasn't prepared for the next question yet, because we were just talking, and he closed his eyes for a second, and I went, okay. And I realized he was listening to me, and then when it was his turn to talk, he had to actually think about a question because he emptied his mind to fill it with my words. And it was really refreshing because I don't have that ability yet. You're talking and I'm listening with the one ear, and my mouth is going, okay, this is what I'm going to say next. Right? Because you and I are reactionary. That's what we do. I mean, as interviewers and as speakers and things like that. But what we do when we're learning to listen is this. We won't ask any questions. We're just going to listen.
Yeah.
We are not going to formulate, because when I'm asking you to listen, I don't want you to tell me it's going to be okay. I don't want you to tell me or think I need a diagnosis for you. Here's what I want. What I'm asking you is because I trust you enough to carry some of my baggage sometimes that I can't carry for that 20 minutes or whatever we're talking. And if I trust you even more, we'll go through that baggage and realize, oh, this one's empty, or this one's your mother's, and this one it is. And I now maybe can carry a small carry-on. Right? Yeah. Instead of this baggage. And I love it when I go to the airlines and they go, do you have any baggage? You have no freaking idea how much baggage I have. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's all about making people feel safe so that they can feel safe with themselves.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful sentiment. And particularly, we're at a safety conference.
Yeah.
We're talking about things in the workplace. And I was talking with Eldine Pozniak just a few minutes ago about building rapport in the workplace, letting people know not only with your words but with your actions that this is a safe place. And the fact is, we want you here. Mm-hmm. You know, we're seeing some behavior that we're worried about. How can we help? But beyond that, how can they help? How can someone say, beyond me being able to listen to you, how can we help?
Well, it's going to be about getting them to seek help from people that are professionals then.
Yeah.
Right? Psychiatrists, psychologists, and that. Do you know why they have us at these conferences with everybody?
Why?
so that nobody has to say, I need help. So if we said, okay, come to this conference, and then in this room is going to be a mental health speaker, how many people do you think still would go to that mental health speaker? Not as many.
Oh, yeah.
But when you make it mandatory, everybody's there. Nobody can be judged. Because everybody's here. Everybody is everybody's getting the speech.
It's like a shotgun blast
Yeah,
of
it is.
mental health wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'd be a nice day when we have to just show up and have a small room of people that need guidance for their mental health.
Yeah.
And everybody else already knows how to go there.
Yeah. Let's cap it there, my friend.
Yeah, sorry, man. I'm getting a call from the organizer. I haven't checked in yet. I just came to find you.
Perfect. We got it done.
I hope you have a great day, man, and thanks for letting me be on the podcast. And if anybody out there needs some help, it's Ask Tazzy, Tazzy, @gmail.com. And you send your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Thanks so much, man.
Okay, buddy. Lots of love to you.
All right, that's it for this one. Thanks again to the Saskatchewan Safety Council for bringing us to the 2024 Saskatchewan Safety Seminar. If you would like to foster productive conversations about substance use in your community, organization, or event, reach out to me at daniel@hardknockstalks.com. That's it for now. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Say, this is Hard Knocks Talks.